Hello all, welcome back to the channel. Today I am using boto3 to list, create, delete IAM users in AWS. For that, the very first thing which I have to do is that I have to import boto3, then create a IAM resource using IAM client. This is the variable that I will be using equals boto3 dot client, and then the service name that I want to use, that is IAM. Now the next thing that I have to do is that I have to list all the users that are there in my IAM. I have to list all the IAM users. So what I will do is that I will create a variable IAM users equals IAM client dot list underscore users. That is list underscore users. So basically what it will do is that it will list out all the users that I have currently all the IAM users that I have currently configured in my account. So let me log into my account, and if I see over here, let me go to IAM. So I have two users configured. So I will try to list these two users using boto3. So next, what I have to do is that I will use a for loop for user data in IAM users. Okay, just to mention that the return type that we just want to find out the return type that we are having. So what I will do is that I will do a print IAM users. So let's see what it prints out. Okay, let me execute it. So if you see over here, it's a dictionary that is the response that I am getting. So what I have to do is that now I have to walk through the dictionary, and I have to use this keyword users. So to walk through the dictionary, what I will do is that I will use a for loop for user data in IAM users, and the key that I'm trying to parse is over here. This is the users key. So let me put that key over here. Users. I hope I'm not doing any typing mistake. Users. So now what I want to list out is the username and maybe the date this users were created. Right. So what I will do is that I'm passing through the dictionary using the for loop. So now I will put user name is equals user data, and then the key that I want to access, that is user, is it uppercase? Let's see, it's user name. We copy that, and if I can paste it over here, yeah, like so, and then the date when the user was created. Let me use user create is equals to, just copy paste the same thing, and I will take the create date from here, do a control C and replace it over here. Right, now let me print out, let me do a print, and then I want to print out user name backslash t, then user create. So let me just verify that username and user create. Okay, so now what it will do is that it should print out these two users that I have created over here. Okay, so let me run it. So if you see over here, these are the two users that I have currently configured in my AWS account, and I can list this using this particular list users, right? So now what I will do is that I will try to create few more users. So for that, what I will do is that let me create a user list because I want to read it from the list, user list. Let me create something like users like Sam user one. So then Sam user one, Sam user two. So these are three users that I want to create. Okay. And what I will do is that the next thing what I want to do is that I want to attach these particular users to the predefined user policy. So what I will do is that I will create one more list called as user policy list, and then let's see what all user policy we have and what we can use. So I'm just going to all these user policies to get the ARN name. So let me see. Let me try to use one policy for S3. So I will create one S3 policy. So this is one thing that I will create. So let me add it over here. Next thing which I might want to use is how about using an EC2 EC2. Okay, let me use the read-only access. Same thing. Let me copy paste it over here into a list. Okay, let me have one more. Uh, the one that I can use is, let's move it this side a bit. Let me use one more policy, user defined policy that I can use for, okay, let's say route 53. Route 53, read only access. Okay, let me copy this and put it over here. Okay, so now what I have done is that I will create this three IAM users, and I will add them to this user policies over here. So for that, what I will do is that so I have to find out how many times I have to loop through the list. So so I will do a count. Count is equal to, I'll find the number of entries, that is length user list. Right. So it will give me the number of entities that are there in the list. So over here we have three entries. So it will start from 0, 1, 2. So it will give 3 over here, but when I put it into a for loop, it will start from 0, 1, 2, and 3. So what I have to do is that I have to execute a for loop for x, which is an integer, in what I have to put is that range command. Okay, range count. So basically what it is doing is that it will iterate itself to the number of counts that are there. So let's say I have three entries over here, so it will return back 3, and when I'm using the range as 3 over here, then it will start from 0, 1, 2. So that way I will be able to access each of these users based upon the index names. So what I will do is that next I will use is that I will create IAM client. I will use this instance, and then dot create underscore user, and then I will put user name equals user list, and then the index that I will get from the for command. And then what I will do is that I will remove any additional blank spaces over here. So what I'm doing is that I'm reading as my for loop executes. So I'm reading the first value and I'm assigning it and I'm creating user using that first value, that username. And then what the next thing that I will do is that I will attach this user to a predefined user policy. So for that, what I have to do is that I have to use IAM client dot attach underscore user underscore policy. So I will copy this because it will remain the same. Let me copy this over here, put it over here, and then what I will do is that I will use this list of policies over here, and then I will use the same indexing that I'm using for users, user policy list. Okay. Now for that, what I'm missing is that I have to assign it to policy ARN. So this is the variable which I have to use and I have to assign it over here. Okay, so things looks good. So what I'm doing is that I'm iterating through each of these particular list users and I am assigning one policy to each of these users as based upon their index numbers. So first user will be assigned the first policy, the second user will be assigned the second policy, and so on. The third user will be assigned the third policy, right? So let's see what happens if I go ahead and execute it. Okay, let me execute it. Okay, so name user list is not okay. So I have a spelling mistake over here, that is user list, and then I have a user list over here. Okay, so let me try to execute it again. Okay, okay, what is happening? Attach. Okay, I think I've done a lot of typing mistakes over here. Okay, let me comment out this because I'm not using it. So let me comment out this. Okay, so this time it looks good. I don't have any spelling mistakes, hopefully. So let me add it. We try to run the script again. Okay, too many. Okay, I think today I'm doing a lot of typo mistakes. Policy ARN. No. Username. Policy. Let's see. Does the users already exist? Let's see. Okay. I think this one is already there, so I need to delete this user. Yes, delete this user for me. Okay, now let's try once more time. Okay, so the error was coming because that user got created, and the first time the user got created, and then this, due to my typing mistake, this second line was not able to execute. So it created this user and it was complaining about that. So now it has been fixed, and so hopefully we have all these three users created and they are attached to this user policy. So let's verify that. So let me go over here, click on refresh. So if you see over here, we have SAM user 1, 2, 3 that we have created. And if we go over here and if you see that These user policies are also attached to it. So let me verify the other one, right? And let me verify the other one. Okay, so these are attached to the user policy. Now what I will do is that I will come over here. Let me comment out the entire thing and let me open this over here and let me see now if I'm able to see all those users or not. So let me, if I execute it. So now you see all the users that I've created are being listed over here. So this is the way that this is one of the ways in which, using which we can create the users using boto3 in IAM. Okay, the next thing what I want to do is that, let's say I have created these users. Now, if you see over here, each of these users, they don't have a security key. So, so if you don't have this security key, you will not be able to access it through your for scripting. So what I will do is that now I will create an access key using using the boto3. So let me take this user and verify that it does not have an access key. Okay, so it does not have an access key over here, right? This is Sam user 3. So now if I go back over here and let me comment out this, I don't want to use it right now. Yeah. So now to create access key, what I have to do is that I have to use the function called as create access key. So my instance is IAM client, and then the function that I will be using is create underscore access underscore key, and then user name. So what the username that I'm going to use is Sam user 3. So let me put it over here, Sam user 3. So this is the user that I'm for which I'm going to create the access key. So if I will see over here, right now this user does not have any access key assigned to it. So now if I, okay, so now let me catch this exceptions over here, or whatever return value it gives. So let me put it as response. Okay. Now the next thing what I will do is that I will print this response. Okay. So now if I execute it, I hope I'm not doing any typing mistakes. Let me verify that. Create access key username Sam user 3 client. Okay. So this is good. Let me execute it. Okay. So now if you see over here, now it has, my command has executed successfully and I'm able to create the access key. So it has given me the access key over here, the username and the access key ID, as well as it has given me the access security key as well. So let me note it down. I want to use it further because when I'm deleting it, I need that access key ID. So let me copy it and I will put it somewhere. Okay. Okay, fine, no problem. It is still there, so I can do it. So now what I have done is that now I have created an access key for this user. So let's verify in the console. So is it visible? No, not visible yet. Let me refresh the screen. Okay. So if you see over here, now the access key is created. All right. So next thing what I'm going to do is that I'm going to delete this access key. Right. And I want to and I will detach this particular uh, user from a user policy, and after that I will go ahead and delete this particular user, Sam user 3. So let me comment it out so that it does not interfere with our next set of command codes. So what I will do is that I will do IAM client dot delete underscore access underscore key, and then I will give the username, and this is the user that I'm trying to this is the username for which I'm trying to delete the access key, and then access key ID. This is the access key ID that I want to remove. So I can take this access key ID from here and put it over here. So now if you see over here, there is an access key that is assigned to this user Sam user 3. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to delete it. So once I execute this script, let's see what happens. Okay, so it completed successfully. So as per this command, I should be able to delete my access key for the user Sam user 3. Now let's go back to the console and just refresh it. Okay, so if you see over here, now the access key is deleted for the particular user. Now next thing what I'm going to do is that let me go back to this user Sam user 3. It has been assigned with this particular user policy, that is Amazon root 53 read only access. Now I want to detach this particular policy from this user, that is Sam user 3. So what I'm going to do is that let me comment it out again. It's this one. For that, what I will do is that I will use the same instance that I created, that is IAM client. And then what I have to do is that I have to use detach, detach, sorry, detach underscore user underscore policy, and then the username that for which I want to use, for which I want to detach the policy, that is SAM3. We control that, control copy that, paste it over here, and then the policy ARN name that which I want to remove, and SAM3 was assigned Amazon S3 read-only access here. So I will copy this thing over here, and then I'll put it. And so basically what it will do is that it will it will remove this user policy, or it will detach this user policy from this user. Right now, if you see the console, it is attached over here. So once I run that particular uh, line of code, then it will detach this particular uh, user policy from the user Sam user 3. So let's try to verify that. Okay, let me execute it. Hopefully I don't have any typos. Okay, so it executed successfully. So now if I go back to my console and just do a refresh, now you see over here I don't have any user policies assigned, right? So let me come back over here. So I'm user 3, so I don't have any user policies assigned over here. So I was able to remove it from the user using this particular line of code, right? Now what I will do is that I will go ahead and delete the user. So I will use the same instance that I created. I am client dot delete underscore user, and then I will give the username that I want to delete. So let me copy it from here, Control C, and then Control V. So right now what I'm doing is that I'm trying to delete this particular user. So before deleting any of this user, we have to make sure that we delete the access key detach any policies which are attached, which are assigned to that particular user, and then we can delete it. Okay, so we will see what happens if I don't delete any of this, if I don't perform any of this above activity and try to delete the user. So before that, let me try to delete this user and see what happens. Let me execute it. I think I don't have a typo errors. Yeah. So this command has completed successfully. So now let me go back to my console and verify if my user is deleted. If you see over here, I don't have the user right now. Right. So SAM user 3 has been removed. Now what happens if I try to delete another user, but I don't perform any of these above steps? So let me try to delete it. So I'm trying to delete SAM user 3 and I'm just executing the code. So if you see over here, it gives me it starts throwing error, right? And let's see what is the error that we see. It says that cannot delete entity, must detach all policies first. This is because I have not removed any of these policies. I have not removed the policy from the user. So that is the reason it is not allowing me to remove it. So let's say I will detach it first. Let's say I will detach it over here. Okay, so let me detach it. And right now, if I execute, let's see what happens. Okay, again an error has occurred. The user with the user with same. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Okay, let me try to remove it and see what happens now. Okay, so now once I have detached this particular policy from the user, I was able to remove the user from AWS, from IAM. So let's see, let's verify that. Let me refresh that. Now if you see, I have I have removed the second user, SAM user 2 as well. So this was a small video explaining how to use boto3 to create IAM users, delete and list IAM users. Hopefully this video will provide you some guidance for your script. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye bye.